Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we're going to get started. Hi, everyone, again. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today, we have a webinar with Education USA Querétaro in collaboration with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. We have Haruka Morris, the Matriculation Manager here, and Amy Pham, the Director of International Admissions, both from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, who are going to talk to us a little bit about exploring STEM careers in the United States. So before we get started, I am going to give you all a short presentation on Education USA, who we are and what we offer. Then Haruka and Amy are going to go ahead and give us their presentation and finish with a few minutes at the end of the webinar with some space for you guys to ask some questions directly to Haruka and Amy. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you have any questions specifically related to Education USA, you can also go ahead and write your questions in the chat, and I will get to your questions either at the end or a little bit before maybe Haruka and Amy begin their presentation. So again, let's get started. So first, we're going to talk again a little bit about what is Education USA. We are a network of the U.S. Department of State. We have over 400 advising centers worldwide. We actively promote higher education in the United States. We offer accurate, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. All of our services are completely free for you all. So what do we offer exactly? So we offer 3 different types of services. In center, we offer information sessions, one-on-one advising, personalized advising sessions with you all. We also offer workshops, and we have official resources and study guides, for example, for your SAT, your GRE, your GMAT, or your English exams like your TOEFL, your IELTS. We have those study guides for you to use. We also do some outreach. We have information sessions at local institutions. We also provide workshops outside of our advising centers, and we also sorry, screen cut off for a second. We also attend mobility fairs or educational fairs as well. And virtually, we can also offer you all one-on-one personalized advising sessions in case you are unable to attend in person. We are more than happy to help you online. We also have webinars such as this one with directly with university reps as well, virtual fairs and seminars. So here are Education USA advising centers in Mexico. Like you saw at the beginning of the presentation, there are over 400 advising centers worldwide. And here in Mexico, we have 15 physical advising centers. I am leaving here a QR code for those who would like to get in touch with an Education USA advisor near you. If you are from a different state, if you're not from Pachuca, if you're not from Querétaro, if you're not from Monterrey, you are still able to get help from an Education USA advisor. I'm going to leave our national email at the end of my presentation so you can get in touch with us. And just for you guys to know, I'm so sorry I didn't present myself. I'm Stephanie, and I am the Education USA advisor in Querétaro. So if any of you watching are from Querétaro, you're also more than welcome to get in touch with me. I will be leaving you my email at the end of the presentation. But really quickly, I'll also leave the emails in general for other advisors. We have our advisors from Guadalajara, advisors from Monterrey, advisors from Mexico City. You can see some of their emails here. Mexico City at educationusa.org, Monterrey at educationusa.org. I'm here, Querétaro at educationusa.org. Again, If you are not from any of these states, I'm going to leave you my our national Mexico email, so another advisor can go ahead and get in contact with you. Generally, what do we offer in Education USA is that we personally guide students or professionals who are interested in studying in the United States. So here we have the 5 steps to study in the United States that we guide you through. The first step is to help you research your options. I'm sorry for the typo here at the top. I think Spanish and English got mixed together there. But first, we help you with knowing how to research your options. That means how to find accredited US universities, depending on your level of graduate programs. We also help you find out more information about scholarships, how to finance your studies. In a second here, I'm going to mention an Education USA scholarship that is currently open for all undergraduate and graduate levels as well. The third step that we guide you through is helping you complete your application. So knowing all of the requirements for your application, such as how to ask for recommendation letters, maybe how to work through the Common App system as well, knowing how to create a Common App essay, a personal statement, and all of the requirements that are needed in order for you to apply to a US university. The fourth step is that we help you and guide you through your visa application process. We don't directly interfere with the application process because we don't have any say in the acceptance, but we guide you with knowing what is required for you to apply for your visa, what are the steps to take, the general steps. And finally, the fifth step that we have is helping prepare you for your departure. So before you leave to the United States to start your studies, we hold a pre-departure orientation where we kind of talk about general tips for international students, such as what kind of things they can find on campus, campus life, differences in cultures, and more. And now I'm going to talk really briefly about the Opportunity Fund's Mexico Scholarship. This is the only scholarship that is, oops, sorry. There we go. This is the only scholarship that is given by Education USA, and it is a scholarship that supports high achieving Mexican students who want to apply either to an undergraduate or graduate program in the United States. It doesn't cover tuition. It only covers application related costs, such as English exams. It will cover your standardized tests. It will also give you preparation to take those tests, one-on-one specialized advising. It's going to cover your document translation, credential evaluations. It will give you up to 4 fee waivers to US universities. And if you are accepted to a university, Education USA will also cover fees such as passport fees, your student visa fees, travel to the consulate in case you have to travel or the consulate is far from you. And it will also cover your flight to the United States and give you a small arrival allowance. So again, this scholarship is only for application related costs and not tuition. And it's open now. The application opened November 3rd, and it will be closing February 15th next year. Really quickly, some of the requirements is that you do have to be a Mexican citizen currently residing in Mexico. We're looking for candidates with a strong academic record, leadership, and community engagement. You have to also be committed to committing at least 15 to 20 hours per week for this program, because it is a program at the end of the day that is going to prepare you intensely for admission to a US university. And you are not eligible if you are a dual citizen or a US permanent resident. If you would like to know more details about the scholarship, I'm leaving the QR code here, and then you will see all of the eligibility, all of the specifications in this QR code. In this QR code. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to talk about some upcoming events. The next event that we have related to the Opportunity Funds Scholarship is actually a kickoff event that is going to be live on Zoom, November 24th at 6 p.m. If you have any questions about the application process, the requirements, any specific questions, we're going to have our Opportunity Funds Scholarship coordinators live during that time, answering any kind of questions that you might have in regards to the scholarship. We also have an upcoming event with Comexis for their Fulbright Scholarship for Binational Studies. It's actually tomorrow at 2 p.m. Mexico City time. So if you are a graduate student looking to get some work experience in the United States, this scholarship might be of interest to you. I'm leaving again the information here very quickly if you would like to know more about gaining work experience in the United States for a graduate level. And finally, although we are talking today about STEM careers, we have another STEM webinar coming up that is actually a little bit different. That one is more for those who might be interested in a career specifically for educators. If you would like to teach STEM, we are going to have one with North Carolina State University. So they're going to talk a little bit more about the field of engineering education and the pedagogical foundations for STEM educators. And that one will be in December. Okay, so now finally, I'm leaving our national email. Again, it's mexico@educationusa.org. Or if you're from Querétaro and you're looking for one-on-one advising, I can work with you. Again, you can email me at querétaro@educationusa.org. Our Instagram and our Facebook is where we upload all of our upcoming events, information regarding the Opportunity Funds Scholarship. So make sure to follow us there as well so you can get all of the latest information. And without further ado, I'm going to leave the floor for Haruka and Amy. So go ahead. Let me stop sharing my screen.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Haruka Morris. I'm the matriculation manager for Embry-Riddle Language Institute, ARI for short. I'm very excited to share insight about studying STEM, aviation, and aerospace in the United States. So today's session will help you understand what STEM looks like at the university level and why the US is one of the best destinations for STEM education and what opportunity you can expect. And also, we will talk about how you can strengthen your English skills at the university level. All right, let me share my screen here. Okay, so let's start with a simple question. What is STEM? So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Very easy. And many of you have already studied subjects like biology, physics, chemistry, and mathematics throughout the middle school or high school, right? If you enjoy these classes, you're probably already drawn towards the STEM field. And maybe you're also interested in technology or engineering because these fields are known not only for innovation, but also for high demand and high paying careers in the future. So when you reach at the university level, STEM becomes much more specialized. And for instance, in science, you might dive in deeper into area like meteorology, marine biology, astrophysics. In engineering, you can choose from several branches such as mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer, biomedical, or even chemical engineering. So, as you begin your academic journey, it's very important to start thinking about which area of STEM truly interests you. And from the next slides, Amy will explain the variety of degree options under STEM degree.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Pham. I'm the Director of International Admissions for Embry-Riddle, Arizona campus in particular, but here to represent all of our campuses and representing studying STEM in U.S. institutions overall. So these next few slides, as Haruka mentioned, kind of gives you a good example of what sort of degree programs exist under the different categories of STEM. This, by all means, is not a comprehensive list of all that's offered at U.S. institutions, but it gives you a good starting point and a good idea. The ones that are bolded are the ones that are offered at Embry-Riddle. The ones that are unbolded are not. And so it gives you a good idea of what kind of mix exists out there. Again, this is not the full list, but some of the couple programs I do want to speak a little bit more about, just because it may not be as common. And so just so that you're a little bit more informed, but aerospace physiology being one of them. This degree program is where students study how the human body reacts to certain environments. So let's say astronauts that are being launched into space and they're being exposed to cosmic radiation, high velocity travel, studying how microgravity affects our human body over time as well. So while Embry-Riddle as an institution, you see our name is Aeronautical, you don't think of medical. We don't have a medical school. We do have pre-med programs, and this can be very similar to other US universities as well, where the name might be deceiving. So definitely keep your options open and keep an open mind when you are researching different higher ed options for yourself. Psychology being another one that I do want to touch upon. When, at least for me growing up, whenever I think of psychology, I think of a clinical psychologist. I think of someone in a therapy setting. However, there are other ones that exist out there. For example, forensic psychology, more so in a criminal crime scene investigation setting, human factor psychology being another unique one, where it intersects psychology, engineering, design, and safety. And it's really the study of how us as humans interact with machines and different environments. So it could be the study on accident investigation, aircraft accident investigation. It could be about pilot fatigue, air traffic controller performance, things like that. Next slide, please. The other category being technology. I'm not going to read off every single one again, but the more popular ones I'm seeing more recently is cybersecurity and AI, of course, with the big boom with using Copilot on Outlook or ChatGPT. So these are the more popular programs that I have been seeing with students from all over the world, but specifically when they're looking at US institutions, those are the ones that we're seeing more prevalent interest in. Cybersecurity, of course, is in its own name. In today's society, we're finding greater reliance on technology itself. Some of you were born just only knowing technology, knowing social media, but at least for me, having my credit card loaded on my Apple iPhone and being able to go to the grocery store and just simply tap my phone at the cash register. But cybersecurity engineers working on the back end, ensuring that all of our data, all of our confidential information stays protected. No matter at what scale. It could be with a large conglomerate company, or it could be a smaller scale mom and pop shop as well. Next slide. Engineering and mathematic examples. So with these examples, these are degree programs. They could be offered at the major level. It could be offered at the minor level. And some of these programs may be a direct admission program, meaning it's one application. When you're accepted directly into both the school and the program that you selected. But every US institution operates a little bit differently. Some schools may have you admitted for engineering as a general admit student. And then during your third year in university, that's when you would start honing in and looking to declare your major. Some schools require you to apply and send another application to get qualified to get into that department and into that program itself once you hit that specialty phase. Other schools in the US may have you declare it, and that's just really signing a paper and getting it signed off by the correct faculty members. So it all looks different at different institutions. Things that I would advise you to look out for is one, accreditation, especially being in the STEM field. ABET accreditation, ABET, is a really great accreditation to look into because that accrediting board gives accreditation to the program itself and not the school as a whole. So it's really quality assurance in the eyes of employers because this accrediting board goes through the curriculum, goes through all the skill sets that you may acquire in lab classes, and they ensure that what you're learning in the classroom can easily translate into the career within that industry. So, ensuring that you meet industry standards for that career field. Next slide, please. And then kind of honing back into what Embry-Riddle is kind of specializing in, but also tapping more into or providing more examples of other US universities that may offer aviation. Aviation itself, when you think of it, it's not only flight training, it's not only about being a pilot or engineer, it's a lot more. Next slide, please. So there's being an air traffic controller, being an aviation investigator, working with the NTSB or other boards that are in your country, aircraft manufacturing. Fun fact with Embry-Riddle specifically, we do have a Mexican national who is the president of Safran, which is an aerospace manufacturing company, but he's the president of the Mexico branch, and he is an Embry-Riddle alumni. Other schools that offer aviation in the US include Kent State, Middle State, Tennessee, Univer College, Spartan College, University of North Dakota, Purdue University. The list is endless. It really boils down to start looking at what sort of environment you want to study in. If location is a big factor for you, maybe you have friends or family that lives in certain regions in the US, start your search there and then making sure that the university that you do select offers the degree program that you want to go into and translates into the career that you're aspiring to get into as well. And in that list that I mentioned of different schools, it's not only offered at your standard 4-year university, there are also community colleges in the US that offer aviation programs as well. So, community colleges being a little bit more cost effective compared to some of the university options that exist. Next slide. So on the note of careers, why study STEM in the US in general? The US is home to leading STEM companies, such as these handful that we provided an example of. And really the benefit of this is the proximity to these companies really benefit students that are studying in the US in general for internships, co-ops, job opportunities, the fact that they're just in our backyard. And even if as a foreign national, you may not be able to work for NASA directly because it does require US citizenship for those positions. You may still be able to work on a student project at the college level and have an employee from NASA, a research scientist, let's say, being the judge for a competition that you're involved in at the college, or them being a club mentor or a project mentor that's helping guide you through building a cube satellite, launching a rocket, things like that. So these are examples of really great STEM companies that exist in our backyard and really offers you great opportunities as students, both foreign nationals. Next slide, please. Other reasons to study in the US, the research and lab opportunities. So it all depends on the different institution that you enroll in the US. Some of them may not and allow you the opportunity to go straight into the lab from that first year. But most certainly at some point in your studies, you'll have access to research labs, maybe a supersonic wind tunnel, hypoxia lab, computer labs where you can do real life hacking projects to supplement your cybersecurity studies. And so having that access to all this different equipment to help supplement the essays that you'll most definitely write, the homework you have to do, the different units you have to study. So there's textbook studying, but then there's also being able to get your hands dirty and gaining skill set from there that will translate into your career. Next slide. So on the note of research, these are a few examples that are at Embry-Riddle, but to also provide insight on what other US universities are involved in similar projects. So the LIGO project is the research on gravitational wave detection, where in the lab, they would shoot these red laser beams off of mirrors and try to detect a ripple. Back in 2017, there was a big publication that helped prove Einstein's theory of relativity. And there were several different schools a part of this global-wide physics research project, including University of Wisconsin, MIT, Montana State University, and then your Ivy Leagues, Harvard, Stanford, and so forth. While Embry-Riddle is not officially part of this research project as an institution. If you do search for us, we did have two undergraduate space physics students that were part of this research project, and one of them is the youngest of 1,004 authors published in this 2017 research project. Other projects include students identifying binary star systems with a circular orbit. And so this in particular, a student was very bored, approached our professor and said, "Hey, give me something to do." And being in space physics, he hands her a mound of data and she goes through it. But she didn't work alone. She worked with scholars that were at the University of Auckland in New Zealand. She worked with George Washington University. Who else was there? George Washington University and Georgia State University um, to 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 identify this circular binary star orbit system. Other projects that students are involved in is rocketry. So not only at Embry-Riddle, but other U.S. institutions, we like to build rockets and launch them. And so there is a whole rocketry club where that exists at different universities, but we come together for competitions. And so for this particular competition, we went out to California. Students brought their rockets in pieces out in the desert, and they rebuilt it on site. And Embry-Riddle did more than double the previous record set, which is 47,000 feet. Other universities that were involved in this and that have rocketry clubs include University of Michigan, Purdue University, the various University of California branches, Arizona State University. So while these three are in particular Embry-Riddle projects examples, there are many other universities in the US that offer equally the same great opportunities and for you to get your hands dirty and get that hands-on experience. Next slide. Other opportunity or other reasons why studying this STEM in the US is great, the flexibility. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, but you can be admitted into the university and still be undecided on what you want to study. And that's completely fine because there's plenty of time for you to kind of hone in on what you do like to do, what you want to do for the rest of your life or for the next chapter of your life. But the flexibility in US institutions is great. You could be admitted into an institution, wait a couple years until you take some more general education classes and then figure out what you want to do later. Or you could also double major. So you could major in two different degree programs, or you could major in one and then minor in the other. For example, you could do physics as your general degree program as an undergrad. But then if you do have an interest in astronomy or space physics, that could be your minor at some of these institutions. Cultural diversity being another reason why studying STEM in the US is great is because learning is not only from the textbook, it's not only in the labs, it's also from the people around you. So learning from peers, we boast over 1 million international students in the US. But aside from that, the United States itself is a melting pot. So having the diversity in people from all around the world, but also within the US offers you the opportunity to just glean information, glean experience that you wouldn't have otherwise in a more diverse population. And then OPT, CPT being another reason why studying STEM in the US is great, but I will pass it back over to Haruka to explain more on that piece.
Okay, so let's take a look at further at an internship and a work opportunity for international students because it's very unique to the US, to the United States. So CPT stands for Curricular Practical Training. CPT allows you to intern while you're still a student. So this is designed to provide practical experience in the field of their study. So one important things to note is that the job must be directly related to your major. And then approval is required from your designated school official, who is usually the person who's signed the I-20, which is a document you need to get the international student visa. And some CPT experiences can count for academic credit because you can integrate into your degree program, so you can get the academic credit doing internship. And it might be part-time during semester and full-time during break. So most of the university, usually summer semester is optional. So if you do intern during the summer semester, then you might be able to do full-time. But during the semester, you also have to study. So you have to do part-time and then part-time. You have to study full-time and then part-time intern. So OPT, optional practical training, on the other hand, happen after graduation from a degree program. So you can work full time for up to 12 months after graduation. And if you're a STEM student, if you study STEM degree, then you can apply for the 24-month STEM extension, giving you up to 36 months of work authorization. Again, the job must be directly related to your major, and this OPT status you will apply to the U.S. government. And I think this is a very extremely valuable because you gain the real world experience in the United States after you study, and that making you more competent globally. Okay, so back to you, Amy.
Awesome. So admissions requirements, this kind of encompasses Embry-Riddle in particular. However, I'll speak more about it in a general sense. But to apply, you do need to submit your application itself. So it's an online application for the most part. Some schools do participate in what's called common application, meaning it's one application that you fill out in this account, and then you could choose from a list of schools that are part of this coalition, and then you send your application to these various schools. So it's your one application, and you can apply to several different ones. However, there are some schools, just like Embry-Riddle, where you do have to go to our own institution website and fill out our own application that we've created. And so it's a mixture. There are, I believe, the California universities as well has their own, not common app necessarily, but they have their own coalition. Category as well, not category, coalition application that you could fill out once and then apply to several of the California schools. So some of the more general things that you should be submitting is, of course, your transcripts. And your transcripts, it could be only your high school, it could be only your university transcripts where you've taken college credit, or it could be a mixture of both, depending on how many credits you've completed at the university level. One thing to keep in mind, foreign credential evaluation, meaning you're studying in Mexico. If you're not studying in an international or American curriculum, there are some U.S. universities that may require foreign credential evaluation, even for the high school grades. It's just a way for the institution to convert your Mexican grades to a U.S. grading system. And it's all a mix. Some U.S. universities do everything in-house, and you don't have to worry about paying for this extra evaluation through a third-party vendor. Some schools do the high school grades in-house, but outsource the post-secondary grades that you have. Other ones just outsource everything. So it's all a mixture. Keep in mind that foreign credential evaluation may come up during your application process if you're applying to the U.S. university. Official language proficiency scores. So with U.S. institutions, we are required to set a minimum English language requirement. These are an example of different tests that you may come across or may be required to take. Again, every U.S. institution is different in the different exams that they accept, and also the different minimum score threshold that you have to meet. Other supplemental documents that you would submit to complete your application being recommendation letters. Some require none, like Embry-Riddle, it is optional for us. Some require two to complete your application. An essay. Some U.S. universities do have a specific prompt that you have to write about. Other schools don't have a prompt, and it's just kind of free game, and you get to write about whatever you're most passionate about. SAT and ACT scores. For the most part, but again, it varies by U.S. institution, but it can be required for admissions. Most of the time, it's not required for admission, but I would say it may be required for scholarships if you're looking for funding options. So I say optional, required for scholarships because that in particular relates to Embry-Riddle. But again, every U.S. institution is different, and especially if you're looking at going to community college versus a university level, there's different thresholds for all these different documents that you need to submit to complete your application. And then at the bottom, proof of funds and copy of passport. Sometimes universities can add these documents into the mix of admissions, really, because once you're accepted, that's not the end all. You do have to apply for a student visa to study in the US. And so sometimes it's listed there in the admissions requirements. At least with Embry-Riddle, it's not required for you to get accepted into the university. With most US institutions, it's the same thing. But just know that once you get accepted, you do have extra steps further than that to then apply for a student visa to be able to attend the school. Next slide. Oh, and then it's back to Haruka actually.
Okay, so from here, I'd like to talk about how you can improve your English proficiency through English program offered at a university. So there are many ways to improve your English. You can study independently to reach your TOEFL score or IELTS score. Or these days, there's the AI English training app, so you can utilize those technology, or you can even watch your favorite TV show in English to improve your listening skill. But many universities, includes Embry-Riddle, offer intensive English programs. So what are the benefits of studying English at the university compared to studying on your own? So at university like ours, English programs focuses on academic English. So the language used in classrooms, textbooks, and research papers, just like in Spanish, the way we speak in everyday conversation and the way we read or write in academic settings are quite different. So academic English uses more formal expressions, specialized vocabulary, and subject-specific terminology. In the intensive English program, you will expand your vocabulary for university settings, strengthen your academic writing, and learn how to read complex research papers and textbooks full of terminologies. So I am originally from Japan and I studied at US University just for 1 year as an exchange student, but I still needed to take the TOEFL and submit the TOEFL score. So I didn't take intensive English program. I studied on my own and I got 30 point higher than their minimum requirement. So at the time, I was confident in my English skills. But my first semester, I took an anthropology class and I understood only about 30% of what professor was saying because I didn't know the terminology or concept that was used in a classroom. So while studying at TOEFL helped me improve my English skills a lot, I'm not gonna lie, but it didn't prepare me for specific subject. So this is why learning English in academic context is very important. Some universities even teach English through academic topics so that students can expand their vocabulary in a specific field that they want to study. In our case, we have an aviation English class and special topic courses where students learn key concepts of aviation and aerospace engineering while expanding their vocabulary and phrases used in these classes. And you'll also develop essential communication skills like discussion, debate, and presentation. And in American classrooms, students are encouraged to share opinions, lead discussion, and present project from an early age. But in many other countries, like my own country, we don't practice those skills as often in a school. So I remember I struggled at the first when I studied at a US university because I wasn't used to debate in a class or present in the classroom. So that's why English language training is so valuable. It gives you the confidence and practice you need to express yourself clearly and effectively. And by the time you start your degree program, you'll be ready to actively participate in class and communicate your idea with ease. And intensive English program. So, in most university, IEP intensive English program is held through Monday through Friday, about over 18 hours per week, and you study English intensively and focus on improving your overall communication skills. And another important benefits of studying English at the university is the English pathway program. So there are generally two types of pathway program. The first type is where students begin by studying English only. And once they reach the English level required by the university, they transition into their degree program. The another type allows students to take English classes and academic classes at the same time. So in this option, students can start earning credits towards their degree program before they meet the full English proficiency requirements. So this helps students save time and start their academic journey. So when you think if you're looking at studying English before you study academic program, you may want to look at what kind of program they offer, what kind of pathway program your university offer. And in both type of pathway programs, students can transfer into their academic degree usually without submitting an additional English proficiency test. So I've seen some students who think they are not good at taking English proficiency. Sometimes some people are not good at taking TOEFL or English test. So some students, they choose to study intensive English program at the university so that they can waive the TOEFL or IELTS test. But yeah, additionally, most university issues provisional admission letter to pathway students. So you can show this letter during your visa interview to demonstrate that your plan is to begin your degree program after successfully completing the English portion. And many students also choose to study English at a university even if they already meet the English proficiency requirements. The reason is because they know that getting a high score on an English test doesn't necessarily mean they can use the language confidently in a real life academic situation. So my experience that I shared with you, Arya, is the perfect example of this. So I had to learn that lesson hard way. But in our students' case, many decided to take English classes with us for one semester, just for one semester, or even a half a semester before starting their degree program. This gives them a time to practice listening and speaking and get acclimated to living and studying in the US. And our students often say that the program helped them make friends, adjust to American culture, and feel more confident before beginning the academic classes. That's because we don't just teach English, we also introduce US culture, and they have a chance to practice presentation and participate in discussion. So I think getting used to the environment early on really helps students succeed once they transition into the degree programs. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for your attention today. I hope the session was insightful. So we've been talking a lot. So now we would love to hear from you. So what question do you have? Please feel free to type your question in the chat or unmute yourself and ask any question to Amy or me.
you guys have, thank you, Amy and Haruka. If any of the viewers have any questions, if you want to go ahead and maybe unmute your microphone or leave it in the chat. Javier has a question here. Are the programs online as well?
Yes, so we do have what we call a worldwide campus. We have over 100 sites all around the world. A good chunk of them are on US military bases, but the ones that are not, you're more than welcome to attend those or do a degree program purely online. But if you're looking to stay in Central South America region, we do also have our location in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Any other questions? Amy and Haruka, if anyone happens to have an additional question, would you prefer they send it to a specific email, or is this email that you guys provided here okay?
So if anyone have a question about intensive English program, then the email listed here in the presentation is perfect. And how about you, Amy?
Same with me. I feel, and if
Same.
you
Okay.
can't reach one of us, just email the other, and then we all work together. So
Yeah.
feel free to email any Embry-Riddle email.
Any other questions? If you want to type the question in Spanish, I'm more than happy to help translate. Si gustan escribir su pregunta en español, yo podría ayudarlos a traducir. I'm also leaving our national email if you have any questions in regards to Education USA and how we can help you in your admission process. We have our national email, mexico@educationusa.org. If you are from Querétaro, you can write to me at querétaro@educationusa.org. Again, my name is Stephanie. I'm the advisor for Querétaro. And once again, I'll place the links for our Opportunity Fund Scholarship, the application, as well as the kickoff event that we're having next week. And if you're not from Querétaro, you can find the nearest Education USA Advising Center closest to you in this link. So I think for the moment, we might not have any further questions. Again, Amy and Haruka, thank you so much for your time and for all of the valuable information. I'll make sure to follow up with the registrants with as well, your contact, your emails as well, just in case they would like to contact you directly. This is also being recorded and it will be uploaded into our YouTube channel in case you guys, any of the viewers would like to see some of the information once again.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.